Hello and welcome back to the Do Brand You channel. This channel is all about you. If you're new here, it's where the focus is on you unleashing your potential in every season of life. And the channel here and what is shared here helps you to navigate to your true north, to use your skills and talents to add value to yourself and others. My name is Lorraine Taylor. I'm really super glad you're here. And if you're returning, thanks again for coming back. So today is a Friday chat video. I have a few different playlists on this channel. And in the Friday chats, I just share things that are happening with me at the moment. So it's kind of a behind the scenes look at what's going on. And I share strategies and tips for you. Now, this week, it's the end of January 2025, and I've been just finalizing those last minute plans, getting things in order for the year 2025 and where I'm going to go and what I'm going to be doing. I do live down here in New Zealand, so it is summer here. So it's, I've found since living here, I take all of January to kind of get prepared for the new year. And so that's just exactly what I've been doing. So one of the things that I kind of focus on this week was how I was consuming information. That came really out of just immense frustration and, getting quite, just depressed really in that I've been trying to keep up with information in different parts of the world. And you feel that you're taking on like all the world's troubles sometimes. And it's very difficult, but it's not just it's not just what's happening. I don't think that's what was getting me down. What was getting me down was the fragmentation of information I was getting, the emotive information I was getting, just the little pieces of things that didn't seem to make sense to me. And I had a hard look at how I was consuming information because I want to stay informed. But what I was doing was just grabbing bits and pieces of news, off of social media, which is like the worst place to get news. And I was, just grabbing, like I'd hear something happen or know that an event was coming up and I want to find out what's happening with it. So you Google it and you start reading people's opinions. You go on a few podcasts or YouTube channels and it just gets a little bit crazy. You go down to that rabbit hole and you don't really get informed. You just get all of this stuff that you don't even really know what to do with. And the reality is that I'm not living the best version of myself. I'm so distracted and not finding any solution in how I'm consuming information. And I know this, I'm sure it happens to you. It happens to all of us because we're living in this age of an immense amount of information, and we've become creatures of wanting information really quickly, and we just will grab bites here and there. Our attention spans aren't as long. And so it just, in the end, it just ends up being a lot of noise without anything being helpful. And so that was what I wanted to reflect on and think about here today. And that is, in psychology, they help us to understand this. So I was looking at some, I kind of tried to figure out from a psychology point of view, I always want to know, from a psychology point of view, from a human interest point of view, not a human interest, but from our what makes us human. Why do I do that? Why am I just falling into this trap of grabbing all this and consuming information in the way that I do? And it turns out that the way that we consume information has a lot to do with our human desire for what they call cognitive ease. We like easy answers. And so we scroll through endless headlines thinking that we're staying informed, but we're not really doing the work. We're not doing the work of being conscious and intentional about how we're getting it. It's so much easier just to go through social media or Google this and that and take bits and pieces, try to throw all of that in a bucket and make sense out of it, than it is to actually come up with what kind of a strategy do we want to use to consume information. And this is something I'm going to keep talking about in this channel here, not all the time, of course, but it's something we need to, as people that are living the best version of ourselves, wanting to live at that higher level of really enjoying our life, adding value to ourselves and others, that we take stock of how we get information and we don't fall into these traps that are so easy to fall into, that we find real value in the information that we get, that it can help us to stay informed in a really good way. So I took a step back this week to overhaul how I was staying informed. And, as I found out, I was all fragmented. So I am somebody that likes to keep in touch with things on a global scale. Because I run this YouTube channel, if anyone has a YouTube channel, when you create a video and you put it public, it goes out to the world. So there's a lot of sense in me that I want to stay informed, and I want my finger on the pulse to what's happening around the world, because I don't know who's going to listen to these videos. And it's my responsibility as I share information to be in touch with things and to know what's going on, and to be empathetic and conscious of what people are dealing with, and not to get just one point of view from it, but to get a wider point of view. It's the same in that I run the Duke community, and that's a global community. And I want to stay informed so that I'm very aware when something is happening in a country that somebody lives, that I'm aware of what's happening, and that I can feed that kind of information into any conversations that we have. And so we have a wonderful way to be able to do that today, because we have access to so much information. It's just that we take the easy way out and we just grab all these fragments. So what I did, is I actually went on ChatGPT. I do use it and I think it's a great source to get some ideas. And I just said, give me 10, unbiased news sources, and select them from different parts of the world. And so I did that, and I got the links, and I went into these news places on the internet, and I looked at their vision and their mission and their values, and what they were trying to do as a news source, or as a news magazine, or as a content creator. And I went there and I tried to find out, well, what is that? And so I found 4 that really are going to give me a nice balance of just kind of world news. And I focused on that intentional that thing. Then I also, because just to get world news, it's still going to slant to kind of not giving you, it'll give you politics, it'll give you kind of environmental things, or big things that are happening, but it misses so many human interest stories, so much about science and technology, which I'm interested in, so much about culture and community, which I'm interested in. And so then I asked ChatGPT, can you give me 10 more to look at? And I chose 4 more. And these were, they're all really positive news sources. Their aim is to put out information and content that is responsible journalism, that goes into finding, what are some really cool things that are happening in the world. There's so much going on, and there's so many great people in this world. It's a great way to tap into all that. And then I didn't leave it there. I decided then I'm going to choose Saturdays first of all, I put all of those links into one folder, so I can go onto the folder on my on my iPad or whatever, and I can just click on them and I can go to these places, and I get to once a week on a Saturday, I'm going to sit down with a cup of coffee in the morning, and I'm going to go through these, and I'm going to save any articles that I want to, maybe read later on in the week. But I'm going to use that to really dive deeper into things. And I believe that this is going to help me to, one, have a much more grounded understanding of events, and it's going to give me the different perceptions that we don't often get when we just, go into like social media stuff. And also not just the surface level headlines. I'll admit, when I want to stay informed and I don't have time, I literally have been going and looking at like headlines. Like, that is the worst, because everybody knows people are trying to make headlines for clickability. So what a dumb thing to do, but I was doing it. So no, and so now it's a very intentional and conscious way of saying, I want to live the best version of myself in 2025, and I want to stay informed so that I can communicate and understand people and give space for other people to have conversations with me. And I want to understand them, and I want to build bridges, and I want to find solutions, and I want to find people that want to do that. I don't want to find just people that want to just say all the negative stuff about things. So that's what I've done this week, and I feel so much better. I mean, I kind of test ran it. It isn't Saturday yet, so I test ran that, and I am so happy with the eight that I've chosen, and I can switch those out and choose others, and or find podcasts or things like that, but also just limiting when I'm going to do that so that I can stay informed in a conscious, intentional, constructive, positive, solution-based way. So if you're feeling a little bit scattered by information overload, if you've done anything like what I've done, where you're just like scrolling and going down these rabbit holes, and then gets depressing and it gets frustrating and it's just overwhelming, it's not helping you out at all. So if that's you, I really encourage you, look for some sources, balance them out from just the general news to go and seek out some really good, sites where you can get good solution-based, positive sort of information, because that's going to help you to innovate, to have better ideas, and make sure you're looking at different regions, not all. I mean, it's really interesting because I used to travel a lot, and so I would go from one country to another, and then as I traveled, I always found when I opened up my Google and I searched something, I would get different information depending on whatever country I was in. So for a long time, when I had a VPN, I don't have a VPN at the moment, for a long time, I would use, if I was in one place, I would use a VPN to kind of jump around the world to different places to look for information. That's what I used to do. Because you get in for different information. It's all algorithms. It's all kind of feeding towards wherever you are. And if the internet thinks that you're not in New Zealand, but you're in Bangkok, or you're in London, or you're in a small town in Colorado, I mean, it's going to give you different information, and you get to see what other people are seeing. And then you get to understand why we have such a communication problem anyway in the world today. We're all siloed into our own information little buckets, which is all just, most people is all just fragmented information. So we can't have good conversations unless we are intentional about where we get our content from. So I wanted to share that with you today, and I hope that kind of inspires you to have a look at where you're getting your information from. Please do. If you've got some great places that you get information, just share the link below for other people to check those out too. Because that's how we're going to find the different information. We're going to learn, I think, a lot more from these smaller communities. I think mainstream media is going to continue people are going to get more and more tired of that. And, and I think, moving forward, be part of that group of people that is creating and consuming, really good content that helps us to unleash our potential in the season in life that we're living today. So thanks for joining me here today. I have a really kind of cool thing I want to talk about next week. So I already know what I'm going to talk about. I haven't made the video yet, but stop by next week for the Friday chat, and I'll share another one with you. Have a great day. If this resonates with you, hit like, hit subscribe. As you know, hugely helps to get this kind of information out to people that need it, people that are trying to do their best in the world. So do help by subscribing and liking and commenting if you would like to as well. I've also I also have a link below for the Do Connect. That's my newsletter that I send out about once a month, sometimes twice, and you'll get just kind of some inspiration to take action on. It is the do brand you doing action, and also there'll be some discounts and things as I continue to put more things out for you guys. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time.